And so, with Richard Briers and Paul Eddington jogging out of sight, this special royal edition of The Good Life is over, and the cast and many people connected with the show are already lined up on the studio floor. And, of course, many others are working at this moment on the show as you look at the pictures, so they cannot be on the studio floor to be presented to Her Majesty. Sir Michael Swan conducts her down before James Gilbert now presents to her John Howard Davis and his wife. John is head of Comedy Light Entertainment and has come back especially to produce this show tonight. And now Her Majesty has the cast presented to her, the stars: Richard Briers, Felicity Kendall, that's Tom and Barbara, and then Margot Penelope Keith, she is there, and Paul Eddington, who's Jerry. And they've been in 30 shows together. There's never been a crossword, I gather, and they're a real happy family. And this certainly comes out in the show, this atmosphere. And incidentally, I gather this is the first situation comedy which the Queen has ever seen produced in a television studio. She's been to royal galas, variety shows and so on, but not a production like this with its breaks between scenes for camera and costume changes and the occasional retakes necessary because of slight fluffs by the actors or for technical reasons. There's George Cole. He made a jolly good bank manager, didn't he? And here are the two writers, John Esmond and Bob Larby. They first met at school, and in addition to The Good Life, they've written for television such shows as Please Sir, Get Some In, and the other one. It's rather extraordinary. Bob lives in Clapham, and John in Ferring in Sussex, and each day they meet halfway at a small office in Dorking. And there's Brian Jones, the production assistant who told you about the show, and he's worked on all the Good Life programmes and other comedy series like The Live of Birds and The Woodhouse Playhouse and so on. I think he must be a jolly tactful chap to get someone to dig up their garden. I know I wouldn't. This is Paul Munting, the designer. He's designed for all the Good Life shows and other shows like The Need in Line, Z-Cars and so on. This is Ron Koplik, the technical manager. Joined the BBC in 1941. And he used to work as a dolly operator in the good old days at Alexandra Palace. Now, for a very vital man, this is Roger Fenner, the senior cameraman, and he and his crew are in tremendous demand. They do shows like The Need in Line and Val Doonigan live show. And next to him, Kevin White, senior boom operator, and this is very much a team effort. The Queen just looking round for the microphones up there. And this is a very important partnership between these two and vital to any show. Peter Shepherd, head of the costume department, and he's come back especially for this show. And I gather that some of the clothes belong to the cast, and some, of course, the BBC. I'm sure some of Richard Briers belong to him. I don't think the BBC would have any like that. This is Marion Ford, a makeup, and she has a diploma in art and design from Brussels University, which is slightly unusual. This is George Farmer, senior electrician. He has a birthday the day after the Queen's, I gather. And then Ken Godden, studio engineer, joined the BBC way back in 1941. But that's nothing, because Ron Hasler here, the scene supervisor, joined as a page boy in 1936. And so it's time for the Queen and Prince Philip to leave with final farewells from Sir Michael Swan. Very happy picture there. And there's the Duchess of Grafton just entering the Rolls-Royce. And we hope that Her Majesty and the Duke of Edinburgh enjoyed this special edition of The Good Life, and of course that you have too. So good night from us all at the BBC Television Centre.